The morning broke quietly, a soft glow stretching across the small village as Miriam opened her eyes. She did not rise quickly today. Instead, she lay still, staring at the ceiling as her thoughts swirled. Doubts, worries, old memories. Everything felt heavier than usual. It was a familiar ache, but deeper this time. She placed her hand over her chest, breathed in slowly, and whispered, "Lord, strengthen my faith today." Her voice cracked, fragile yet sincere. She pulled the curtain aside and watched the early light move across the rooftops. She loved mornings, but lately even the beauty of a new day felt distant. Still, she got up, washed her face, and stepped outside. The cool air greeted her like a gentle touch. For a moment, she closed her eyes and let herself breathe. She needed this moment of stillness. The world felt loud, but God often spoke in the quiet. Her steps led her to the familiar path behind her home. Birds were waking, trees gently dancing with the breeze. As she approached the old oak tree, her secret prayer place, something inside her started to tremble. She sank to her knees, leaned her head against the rough bark, and finally let the tears fall. "Father, I'm trying," she whispered. "I want to stay strong, but I feel lost." For a while she cried without words, letting out everything she had held in for weeks. And as her tears slowed, she sensed a subtle warmth in her chest, as if God was sitting beside her, listening. She felt no judgment, only understanding. She remembered moments in her past when she thought she wouldn't survive, but somehow God had carried her through each one. "Maybe you're still carrying me," she said softly. The day unfolded unexpectedly. When she returned home, her elderly neighbor, Mrs. Haddon, called her over with a smile. "I baked too much bread again," she laughed, handing her a warm loaf. Miriam didn't know why the simple kindness touched her so deeply, but she felt her heart lighten. Later, her brother, who rarely called, sent her a message. "Thinking of you today. Stay strong." She stared at the screen, amazed. How could he know? She felt God reminding her, "You're not alone." As she cleaned her small kitchen, a song played on the radio, one she hadn't heard in years. It spoke of God's faithfulness, of his love that never fails. Her hand stilled, and she leaned against the counter, listening as if the lyrics were written just for her. Her eyes filled again, but this time with gratitude. She whispered, "Thank you. I needed that." In the afternoon, she sat by the window with her old Bible, its corners worn and pages soft. She flipped through without thinking, and her eyes fell on the verse. "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Her breath caught. She read it again, slower. Then she closed her eyes and let the verse absorb into her spirit. It's okay to be weak, she realized. God's strength begins where mine ends. The heaviness that had clung to her began to loosen. She felt a quiet shift inside, a seed of faith waking up again. She didn't feel fully strong yet, but she felt held. By late afternoon, the sky had begun to change colors. Golden light poured through the leaves as she walked outside again. She didn't go far, just to the front steps, but the world felt new, not because her problems were gone, but because her heart was being renewed. She wrapped her arms around herself and whispered a small prayer of thanks. She felt peace settling into the spaces where fear had lived earlier that morning. As night approached, she lit a small candle in her room and sat beside it. The gentle flame flickered, reflecting in her eyes. She bowed her head. "Lord, thank you for today, for every reminder, every whisper, every moment you strengthened me. Walk with me tomorrow, too." Her voice was steady now, filled with quiet assurance. When she lay down, she felt lighter than she had in weeks. Her chest wasn't tight anymore. Her mind wasn't racing. She closed her eyes and smiled faintly. Today had not been extraordinary by the world's standards, but to her, it had been a miracle, a rebuilding of hope, one gentle moment at a time. And as sleep washed over her, she sensed the truth settling deep within her. God wasn't finished with her story. This was only the beginning of a journey where her faith would grow stronger, steadier, and unshakable, one morning prayer at a time.